Iran sent a new warning to Saudi Arabia and the U.S. this morning not to retaliate for the attack that heavily damaged two Saudi oil facilities. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is on his way to Saudi Arabia. He and the Saudi foreign minister are expected to make a statement today directly blaming Iran for the strikes. They will also be discussing ways to better protect the Saudi suddenly vulnerable oil facilities. Iran's president says that Saudi Arabia should see the attack as a warning to end its war in Yemen. Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR joins us now to continue this conversation. And I know you are having a foreign affairs expert on this situation joining you on your show today.
Yes, the last couple of days I've been talking about the economics of it because I'm a bit suspicious that they're talking down the extent of the damage to try to prevent market prices from spiking, and it's going to take a lot longer to get these facilities online. We seem to be getting some conflicting information about the towers that were taken out and the technical difficulty of getting parts in. Some of the stories suggest it could take months for them to be able to repair them. So I think there is, I think they're going out of their way to try to get calm on that front until they can figure out what the next steps are from a diplomatic point of view. So I'll talk with Shuvaloy Majumdar today about some of the politics in the region, because in some ways, is it a reaction, counter-reaction? Because with Donald Trump pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal and imposing new sanctions, did that then elicit a response from Iran? And now Iran doesn't want to come to the table. And yet you have Trump saying that part of the reason he pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal is because they weren't living up to it and they were continuing to support extremists in the area, which seems to also validate this, with the Houthi rebels taking responsibility for the attack. So I want to understand whether or not there's any hope on the horizon for some kind of de-escalation. It is interesting that the U.S. is taking their cues from Saudi Arabia that don't want a retaliation. But the fact of the matter is, when you're dealing with those who are posturing and demonstrating that they've got greater strength in the region, you might just, by not reacting, it might end up eliciting another response, another attack. I don't know that anybody really thought that the Saudi facilities were this exposed and this vulnerable. Increasingly as well, stories coming out about the level of technical expertise on these drones. It's not like they were military equipped drones. It sounds like they were fairly cheap drones as well, that would suggest that anybody who meant ill for any kind of installation would be able to use a similar type of tactic and a similar type of attack. So we'll continue following what's happening throughout the course of the day, but try to get some analysis on what we can expect for next steps here.
Okay, thanks for this, Danielle. We have to leave it there for this morning. Have a good show.
Thanks.
You can listen to Danielle Smith at 9:30 on 770 CHQR.